You never know. Well, hi! Today I was requested to do a video on why I have this creepy looking little monster thing in my banner, if you can see it, on my main channel page. He's kind of peeking up, and kind of in my introduction as well. So, Cameroon 1000, I thought I would let you know just what's up with that. So here we go. Did I ever tell you about the time that I was almost eaten by a weretroll? You guys probably don't know what a weretroll is. It's Stephenie Meyer's fault. You know her, everybody knows her Twilight series. Well, the one thing that she neglects to talk about is that vampires and werewolves can actually coexist together and end up liking each other, loving each other, and actually having children together, which the result is something that's called a weretroll. Now, it's big, it's green, it's stupid, it's fluffy, and it's also mean, and it has fangs and venom in it, just like vampires do, and it eats people. So, you know, people have these Bigfoot stories and they're out in the woods and they're looking for it. Well, the reason that no one's actually never seen Bigfoot is because it's a weretroll and it will eat you as soon as it sees you. So there was this lovely princess called Daffodil, and she lived in this wondrous kingdom called Incestia. And in the wood, there was this horrible monster, Dardanos. And then one day, her mother dies, and the stepfather that was married to the mother, the queen, decides that he wants the throne, and so to get to the throne he has to marry the Princess Daffodil. And so he approaches Daffodil and he says to her, "Daffodil, I want to marry you." And Daffodil says, "Ew, no, that's wrong in so many different ways." And he says, "Fine, have it the way that you want it." And so one day Daffodil was sitting, frolicking in the meadows, and playing with the butterflies and birds, and all of a sudden this Dardanos creature comes running after her, and she screams and she runs, and then she sees there was this pit, and she goes around this pit because she's a smart, cognitive thinking being. But Dardanos, no, he just falls right into it. And it turns out that it was the local sewage garbage pit, which had, like, you know, disgusting feces and stuff in it. But the methane content put him into a suspended animation. And so she goes home and she gets angry at the father and puts him in jail, and all is wonderful and good, and she marries this wonderful prince, and it's happily ever after, and they have children, and la la la. And so 500 years passes, and there was this horrible leak in my house, and it went down deep into the ground, and it had awoken Dardanos because it had made all the garbage sludge and everything that was petrified go away, and he comes up through the closet, and he starts banging at the door. And actually, I was very curious. I didn't know what that noise was, and so I went and opened the door, and he ate me, and my feet are hanging out, and I'm screaming, and I'm holding onto the UV glove really tight on, you know, in the back of his throat, those things that hang, you know, and so he gags and he spits me out onto the floor, and I notice that my arms are bleeding and there's holes in them, and I instinctually suddenly know that I have only a few minutes left to live, and I won't actually turn into a vampire or weretroll. No, I will just die. But then I knew suddenly that I had grown strong, and I had grabbed Dardanos, and he and I were battling it out, and then I had ripped one arm off, and I ripped the other arm off and ripped his head off. I know this is very gory, and he lay there on the floor. I had defeated him. So I logically thought about this, and I wondered, how am I supposed to counteract the venom that is now going through my veins? It's going to make me die in like only a couple minutes. And so I ripped off the finger that was on the arm, and I dipped it in some of the blood, and I had thought that maybe, just maybe, it would counteract the venom. And so I ate it, and I lived. And that was the time that I had almost died because of a weretroll. Thanks, Stephenie Meyer. You forgot to mention one small detail.